You know, a movie with this title really should have been black and white, huh? Yes, I realize a million other people might have said that already, but f*** it. So let's talk about The Gray Man. You got some time? Yes, The Gray Man is hitting Netflix worldwide this Friday, July 22nd. It's the latest action spy thriller directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, the team that brought me 3 out of my top 5 favorite MCU movies so far. And they've assembled a great cast, including Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Billy Bob Thornton, amongst others. And we follow a man only known by the name of Sierra 6, played by Ryan Gosling. His identity is known to absolutely nobody, and he's the CIA's top asset. And when he uncovers agency secrets, he triggers a global goose chase by assassins set loose by his ex-colleague. And this movie is based off of the 2009 novel of the same name by Mark Greaney. And Joe Russo also had a hand in penning the screenplay along with Marcus and McFeely, the same team who brought you The Winter Soldier, Civil War, amongst others. So I just gotta say, with the team involved and the cast that they've assembled, so to speak, this was my most anticipated Netflix project of the year by a country mile. At least in terms of film. There's certainly some television projects on Netflix that I'm very excited to talk about with you guys. But when it comes to the Russo brothers as directors, it certainly feels like they found their niche in the spy thriller genre. That's especially when you look at Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is absolutely phenomenal. But they've also proven themselves to be pretty versatile directors. They can make sci-fi action epics like Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame both were. They can make super weird movies like Cherry, which I personally did not really like all that much, unfortunately. And then they can make 90s action cheese movies like The Gray Man, which is exactly what it was to me. A movie like The Gray Man will come along and remind me why I love action movies so much. I feel so fortunate that I got to see this on the big screen because I had an absolute blast. The sound design and everything just popping out of those Dolby Digital speakers was something else. The action sequences themselves are handled absolutely wonderfully. These are so aggressively fast-paced, and they are absolutely white-knuckled. The stunt performers deserve so much credit for the work that they put into this project. And the absolute spectacle that these Russo brothers have created within this world of The Gray Man is just... I mean, I love it. I love it. Not only that, but you also have some pretty amazing production design and production value put into this project. Certainly one of the most expensive Netflix projects ever made, which with the Russo brothers' reputation should be something that you would expect. And the action sequences, too far many to count. There's a lot that are so memorable, one of which starts in a town square, and it winds up seamlessly transitioning onto a town bus. I don't think it was a bus. I think it was a light rail train, actually. But just the way that whole direction was, and just how flawless this whole transition was, making it all one big sequence, I think the Russo brothers deserve a whole lot of credit. They are amongst the better action directors working right now. This cast that they've put together is absolutely staggering. Ryan Gosling is our protagonist in here, and he has proven himself to be such a versatile actor. He can give you such an incredibly comedic, over-the-top performance in something like The Nice Guys. He can be the likable jazz musician who learned how to play the piano in the build-up to La La Land. And he can also be the stoic badass like you would see in Drive and Blade Runner 2049. The Gray Man certainly leans toward the latter part of his repertoire. And my goodness, Ryan Gosling is just as stoically charming as he's ever been. And he knows how to crack a joke here and there too, because this is a pretty over-the-top situation. Like I said, The Gray Man is just like a 90s action cheese flick. And even this character realizes how ridiculous this whole situation is, and there's times where he can't help but crack a joke, and the audience that I was watching this movie with were busting up. They were eating up every second of this humor, just like Ryan Gosling was eating up every second of the frame. Absolutely loved his performance. He's one of my personal favorite actors working right now. And the people he has to work off of, like this little girl in the film, is so good. Her name's Julia Butters, and she honestly is a scene stealer. Her dynamic with Ryan Gosling really did remind me a lot of Angourie Rice in The Nice Guys. Except it's a little bit more serious, a little bit more grounded compared to that film, obviously, because it's so over-the-top comedic. But I thought she did great work in the film. As did Ana de Armas, who continues to prove herself to be an absolute badass every role she steps into. She's not only great on screen with Ryan Gosling, but she brings it in the action sequences. She was so great to watch. Billy Bob Thornton also, I mean, this is a guy who is known for being Bad Santa. He's known for being in the pretty mediocre Bad News Bears remake, but he is playing so against his type here, and I don't think people are going to be talking about Billy Bob Thornton enough in this movie. He was really great. But oh my word, let's talk about Chris Evans for a second, because this guy, if you've seen him, like, you know that he's Captain America. You know that he's Steve Rogers. You know that he's the good guy. He just played a good guy in Lightyear. But when he's tasked with playing a villain, he will cheese this like nobody else. This is such a deliciously bombastic performance that he gives in The Gray Man. His one-liners and zingers are something else, and they are just absolutely brutal. He is ripping into his fellow agents. And this is just a villain who just loves what he's doing. He absolutely is relishing whenever he gets to torture his victims, whether it be physically or psychologically. Look at that eating grin underneath that mustache. This character is in heaven. And it looks like Chris Evans had so much fun doing this project. If you loved Chris Evans playing the asshole in Knives Out, you're really gonna love him in The Gray Man. To me, he was the show stealer, but I feel like all these actors really stepped up their game to provide us some really amazing entertainment. Now, since this is a 90s action cheese style film, is this going to be derivative of other projects that you may have seen like this before? Absolutely. You know what this movie actually reminded me a lot of was this guy, Catch Me If You Can, a super underrated Steven Spielberg film, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks. It's one of my personal favorites. But you kind of get the same dynamic with Chris Evans chasing Ryan Gosling around, and it was just super entertaining to see how Ryan Gosling was going to escape certain situations. But you kind of get what I'm saying? The Gray Man is more so like your grittier, dirtier, less sleek version of Catch Me If You Can, which to me isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I absolutely adore that film, just like I adore The Gray Man. I absolutely urge you guys to check this movie out when it hits Netflix this Friday, July 22nd. Certainly some derivative story elements in here hold this movie back from being an ultimate action instant classic for me. I certainly think that an R rating would have really helped a lot of the action in this movie be a little bit more aggressive and just up the stakes a little bit, because these are some pretty brutal fights and mano-y-mano sequences in here. Very much leaning towards the Winter Soldier style of action that we're getting in here. I really do think that adding that R rating certainly would have escalated the action to a point of no return. And another thing is, I really do feel like The Gray Man could have used a lot more in-depth character development, because aside from Ryan Gosling's protagonist, you really don't get a whole lot of deep character analysis. Yeah, Chris Evans is super fun to watch with his demented charisma, and you can tell that he's having so much fun doing this, but I would have loved to have seen a lot more in-depth analysis into his motivations and why he's doing the things he's doing. Because there's some pretty f***ed up stuff he's doing. But putting aside our protagonists, you have some pretty one-note side characters. The script, I think, could have been a little bit more heavy in terms of the character analysis, and our rating would have also certainly helped up the ante. But I will admit, The Gray Man is one of the most fun times you will have streaming a new movie on Netflix this year, and I cannot recommend it enough. I'm gonna go ahead and give The Gray Man a B+. Certainly not the Russo brothers' best film. I certainly wouldn't put it up there with like a Winter Soldier or an Infinity War or an Endgame, but this is certainly a great return to form for them after kind of the miss that was Cherry in my eyes. Let me know what you guys thought of The Gray Man down in the comment section below. Did you guys read the novels that this movie is based on? Because apparently this is a series, and if we're getting more, I am there. But guys, go ahead and start that discussion and then some down in the comments. Obviously, I love discussing all brand new things, movies, and entertainment. If this is right up your alley, this is where you should be, this channel right here. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right next to it so you don't miss a second of the action. And feel free to leave this video a thumbs up on your way out, because that would be really helpful too. And guys, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. Look out for my review of Jordan Peele's newest horror masterpiece, Nope. And going into the month of August, summer is starting to wind down, but we still got a lot of really exciting new releases like David Leitch's Bullet Train that we're going to be talking about. And of course, I'll be continuing my Lord of the Rings retro reviews with The Two Towers, so keep your eyes peeled out for that review. It should be very soon. But y'all are the best. Again, thank you all so very much for continuing to support this channel. And with all that being said, back talk commence.